So one day I was playing Sonic Unleashed, the Wii version of course, I don't want to have too much fun. I am a complete fucking liar, I love the Wii version. And I was like, hey, this game has a day and night system. I wonder how long the adventure took in terms of days in universe. And then I wrote a fucking essay explaining how long it took. Can you tell I'm bored? Like, is that obvious? Is my boredness showing? I'm just kidding, I love pointless analysis stuff like this. So let's do it, it'll be fun. Probably. Okay, let's do it. So before we actually go into counting up the days, I need to set some ground rules first. This is going to be off of a minimalistic playthrough of the game, meaning we're essentially making a beeline for the credits, only doing the essential things and nothing else. This means that I'm not going to play any non-story required levels like Skyscraper Scamper Day or anything like that. We're also going to assume that along the journey, Sonic collects enough Sun and Moon medals to access all the levels immediately, since in my playthrough I had to go back and replay levels to get enough. I'm looking at you, Jungle Joyride Day. I'm not going to count those when talking about the in-universe journey, since that aspect of the game is dependent on the player and not story progression. Ready? Okay, let's do this. Now, first of all, we have to establish a starting point. Let's assume that day 1 starts when Sonic turns back into his normal self after being thrown from space. This leads into both the Windmill Isle day levels, after which a cutscene plays where it's the evening and Sonic turns into the werehog. Right after this cutscene, you play Windmill Isle night, and upon completing that, you are shown a cutscene where you meet Tails and head off to Spagonia and the tornado. By the time you get to Spagonia, and even slightly before, it's daytime, so we know that by this point we are on day 2. Sonic searches around the town and finds out that Professor Pickle is somewhere in Missouri, so you end up going there next. When you get to Missouri, it's nighttime, so we are now on the night of the second day. We play through Savannah Citadel Act 1 directly after this, so it's safe to assume that Act 1 takes place on the same night. We save Professor Pickle on the same night, however, this is where we have to make an assumption. Because they go back all the way to his lab in Spagonia, the day would have had to have passed since we know it takes a while to get there, shown by Sonic getting to Missouri at night when it was daytime in Spagonia. So the only explanation is that they headed back to Spagonia and stayed there until nightfall, making the cutscene where Professor Pickle explains the Gaia manuscripts the night of the third day. The very next thing we do is encounter Eggman back in Missouri, which takes place in the day, meaning we are now on day 4. We then go through Savannah Citadel Act 1 and beat the Egg Beetle, and restore the Chaos Emerald all on the same day. Are you confused yet? I hope not, because we got a lot more to go. Next we go to Halaska to play Cool Edge Day. Since we have to stick to the travel time, let's say that Sonic left Missouri at the end of the day and took all night to get all the way up to the north, and didn't get there until morning. Which means that we are now on day 5. We play through Cool Edge Day and then head back up to Spagonia to do Rooftop Run Night. Since visually Cool Edge looks like it takes place in the morning, we can ignore the travel time rule and say that Sonic got to Spagonia late in the day and did Rooftop Run in the early morning before the sun came up. We know this based on the clock's position before we turn it when we reach the top of the clock tower, which reads a little bit past 3:30, so it's safe to assume that Sonic does Rooftop Run in the early morning. Next we have to play Dragon Road Night, which we can safely assume because of travel takes place the following evening, so we are now on day 7. So we can establish that by the time Sonic gets to see Hunnan, it has been a week since Dark Gaia was awakened. We fight the Dark Gaia Phoenix directly after this, so we can safely assume that it takes place on the same night. Next we have to play Rooftop Run Day, which naturally means we're on day 8 now, which is then immediately followed up by Dragon Road Day, which due to travel time rule means that a day has passed and it's now on the 9th day. Jesus. We jump back to Spagonia to fight the Egg Devil Ray, which takes place during the day, which means another day has passed and we're on the 10th day. Jesus fucking Christ! We then go to Cool Edge Night, We then go to Cool Edge Night, which we can safely assume is done on late at night or early in the morning like Rooftop Run, since they could have used all day to fly to Alaska. And judging by the sky and how dark it is, I think it's safe to assume that it takes place past midnight, like at 2 AM or something, so that makes it the 11th day. We fight Doc Murray directly after this, so it's still done on the same night. We then head back to Spagonia, where we're informed that Professor Pickle is setting up shop in Shamar. It's daytime when we get there, so this makes this the 12th day. We then actually head to Shamar, which is in the daytime, which means due to the travel rule and how far Spagonia is, that makes it the morning of the 13th day, since I couldn't reasonably have traveled there and made it there before nighttime. After talking with Professor Pickle, we then head up to Empire City and get there to do Skyscraper Scamper Night. This is actually where we can ignore the time travel rule, because looking at the map of the world, we can see that Empire City is actually really close to Shamar, so we can assume that they set off for Empire City at some point during the day and got there at night, and then do Skyscraper Scamper on the same night. This is followed by Aaron's Day, which we can ignore the travel time rule and say that this takes place on the very next day on the 14th. Aaron's Night is done on the night of the 14th, and we fight Dark Guardian on the same night. After that, we head to Adabat to do Jungle Joyride Night. Let's say it takes them all day to get to Adabat, and Jungle Joyride is done that night, which makes this the 15th day. In order to unlock Jungle Joyride Day, we must fly back up to Shamar so Professor Pickle can say so we can head back to Adabat to do Jungle Joyride Day, meaning it took all day to get to Shamar on the 16th, and then spent all night traveling back to Adabat to do Jungle Joyride Day on the morning of the 17th. You got all that? Dick. After Jungle Joyride Day, we fight the Egg Lancer, which is still on the 17th day. And then we fly to Eggman Land, and this is where it gets weird. See, Sonic is normal when you're doing the second Tornado defense level, so they either flew there in one day or a day has passed and it's the following day. Let's keep our travel rule and say that it's day 18. Now here's where I have to make a judgment call. Eggman Land is done all on the same day. The thing is that when you switch from day to night in the stage, time isn't passing by super quickly, you're more so just changing the cycle. The amount of time passed is still the same. So let's say that you start Eggman Land in the day, and you finish it all by night, since the cutscene after you beat this level shows Sonic as the werehog. So it took all day essentially. It's not much different from how long this level takes in real life. We then fight the Egg Dragoon and Dark Gaia throughout the night and entire early morning, making it the 19th. We know it took all night because after Sonic crash lands onto a Potos after the fight, the sun is just coming up, so let's say Dark Gaia took all night to defeat. So in conclusion, Sonic Unleashed in-universe took over 2 weeks to go through the whole adventure, 19 days specifically. Hey, editing Fox here, so I made a mistake. It's actually 20 days, because after you beat Jungle Joyride Day, you have to go back to Shamar, so Professor Pickle can tell you to go to Eggman Land. Due to the travel time, it would be 20 days, not 19, it's 20. And there you have it. That is canon, it's official, I am correct. If you question me, you will be found. So yeah, feel free to one-up your friends in conversation now.
Yeah, I just got this new job that's going to allow me to pursue my passions as a musician, you know? I feel like I've finally gotten somewhere. I'm finally at a place in my life where I feel like I can truly make something of myself. I just hope I don't get too drunk with that freedom, you know? Like, I'm going to make sure I don't become one of those douchebags that just takes their popularity as a symbol of entitlement or, like, just does bad things with that popularity, you know?
Yeah, well, fuck you. Have you ever heard of Sonic Unleashed? Hey there, thanks for watching. So this was, yeah, this was definitely a lot shorter than, my last one. It's just because that video just, the Sonic Symphony video just took so much out of me. It was fun to make, but it was very draining. So I feel like I needed to make a sort of, like, break video, I guess. Just a more fun, laid-back video, not as serious, so I could kind of regain my energy. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.